Hello.
We are here for First Fringe Friday. Hello, I am Tie-Dye Clark.
I'm Alex Hill. Less of a cool name, but still.
They're both equally cool. I think they're both equally cool names. So, Alex, what are we doing here tonight? What are we celebrating? What are we seeing?
We are celebrating the first Friday of the month, which means that we're going to see a couple of Fringe shows, a couple of mini ones as we wait for our fun, long-awaited festivals. And tonight with some special announcements, some special guests, some special shows, all focusing on genderqueer individuals, gender non-conforming, the trans community as a whole, hence the lovely little flag behind me today.
Yeah, Alex and I both have a lot of past experience with Fringe. We're going to give it like a few more minutes to let some people in before we get into the meat of it. I, as Clark, hi Joyce.
Joyce, hello.
It's so good to see you out in the comments. We love Joyce Arbusius. So yeah, Alex and I have a lot of experience in the past with Fringe. I've worked with some shows as an actor, as a stage manager, as a co-deviser on a show that might be coming up sometime in the future, knock on wood, and I've interned with the festival, so I've seen it from a lot of different aspects.
Same on my side. I've been everything from dancer, tech, some fun backstage stuff. I also have just been going to Fringe since I was a wee child living in Orlando, just, starting off in the both queer community around Orlando and also the art and performance community. I remember, too young to go to the beer tent yet, brought on back to Kids Fringe, seeing some of the shows that were child appropriate, and then finally getting my own and getting to perform in a couple of different things, and hopefully in some future shows besides our lovely little mini programmings currently.
He's also a Fringe Award winner.
Also a Fringe. Well, I am one to speak as if your shows have not also won in the past.
Oh no! Not this. I didn't invite this. I didn't know. Oh no.
Well, I think as people log in, they'll continue to log in, but I think we can start to get started with our lovely evening going forward.
Yes, we can. So first thing that we want to say, since it's down at the bottom, let's address this.
Yeah, so for you guys seeing right now at the bottom of your screen, if you would like to tip your Fringe artists tonight, we've got a number. If you just text Fringe to 41444, it will direct you to be able to kind of tip your artists tonight, show a little bit of love, spread some cash. Never required, always appreciated during these very fun and interesting times.
Yes, as famed Fringe producer Kira Hannon once said to her audience, "Open your hearts and your wallets to us and show the love." I stole that from Kira Hannon. All credit goes to them. Producer of Leviticus, incredible show. Anyways, another announcement we want to make at the beginning of this event is in partnership with the city of Orlando. So we want to thank the team of Felipe Matos Rodriguez and Matt Sauce for helping to bring this all together, along with Ashley Figueroa of the Gender Advancement Project and Joyce Arbusius. Joyce, who we mentioned earlier. You will also be seeing Felipe and Ashley come to us and going to talk to us about some really cool things that's coming up very soon.
Yeah, and on top of that, we have 5 artists performing some wonderful works tonight. Very excited to share them with you and to also see them some for the first time as well. 2 of our performers are also brand new to the Orlando Fringe scene, so we're also so excited to welcome more lovely Fringers to our little family here. And this on the fourth Fringe Friday now, so we've got our fourth one going. These kind of, each Fringe Friday, if you haven't joined us in the past, are going to have little themes that we're going along with. These themed nights are a direct result of the efforts from our inclusion, diversity, and accessibility community. They meet monthly, and if you're interested in joining, you can message us here at Orlando Fringe to interest in joining, learn a little bit more about it. And like we mentioned before, tonight we're going to be focusing a lot on trans artists, gender non-conforming individuals. So we've got a lot of really cool and diverse pieces coming up tonight, on top of some really fun and special announcements as well.
Yes. So something that we'd like to get into, which we're very excited for, is a proclamation for Trans Awareness Week. This is coming from Felipe Matos Rodriguez, who we've mentioned. He is from Orlando City's Office of Multicultural Affairs, because it's not just election week this week. Next week, coming up very soon, is it next week? I believe November 13th to 19th, I believe it, yes, is Trans Awareness Week. So to get a little bit into it, Felipe Rodriguez is the Inclusion, Diversity, and Equity Senior Specialist for the Office of Multicultural Affairs for the City of Orlando. A lot of words for a very big and important title. Yes. In this capacity, he proposes policy recommendations, programs, and he advocates for best practices on LGBTQ+ issues, immigrant and refugee affairs. He does outreach for Muslim, Brazilian, and Arab American communities, and he encourages a lot of participation in city services, which we especially appreciate in the middle of the pandemic, of figuring out how that works. Very appreciated. He's also been the manager of collaborative partnerships at the City of Orlando in the past, and in this role, he served as the point of contact on behalf of the city on all issues focused on long-term recovery from the Pulse tragedy.
Yeah, Felipe managed deliverables, removed barriers, and created qualifiers and quantity standards for those services at the Orlando United Assistance Center, or the OUAC, a program created to serve those directly impacted by the Pulse tragedy. The OUAC was made possible by a collaboration between the City of Orlando, Orange County, and the Heart of Florida United Way. He advocated and supported the various stakeholders of mental health and social service systems, the LGBTQ community, and communities of color, all whom are integral to the creation of a successful support system.
Felipe is an immigrant from Brazil, and he came to Miami originally when he was 14 years old. And in 2010, he walked on the Trail of Dreams, if anyone knows that. It is a 1,500-mile walk from Miami to Washington, D.C., and he shared stories of immigrant youth. He also worked with presentaid.org, presente.org, which is an organization seeking to solve some of the most pressing issues impacting the Latino community through communication strategies.
Long list. He also co-directed Get Equal, a national social justice LGBTQ organization. He served as the deputy managing director at United We Dream, the largest immigrant youth network in the country. He worked at ThoughtWorks, a multinational software company, working at the Office of Social Change Initiatives as the director of strategic partnerships. And he graduated from Miami-Dade College with an associate's in arts in international relations and a bachelor's degree in business studies and a minor in economics from St. Thomas University.
So in other words, this man's amazing.
Lots of qualifications, but we'd love to welcome Felipe on to join us now.
Yay.
Hey, hello. You know, I have never heard somebody read my bio.
Isn't it amazing? It gives you such an existential moment of oh my God, all these things.
Exactly. The list, because you can talk about it, but you can give us the dialogue and we can just hype you up on the way.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much to everyone watching, and to the producers and all of the volunteers and board members of Fringe Festival. This is such an important day. I am so excited and happy to be here today. It is a day that we get to highlight the voices and through performances of gender non-conforming folks and the transgender community, which many times are not given any opportunities to shine. So I'm so excited to be here. I'm here also on behalf of Mayor Buddy Dyer and Commissioner Patty Sheehan, who couldn't be here today, to read a proclamation for Transgender Awareness Week, which actually starts next Friday. So let me get it up here. So it says, whereas Transgender Awareness Week is recognized nationally from November 13th through November 19th, and it is a time to bring attention to the transgender community by educating the public about issues of prejudice, discrimination, and violence that many transgender people face. And whereas Transgender Awareness Week is followed by an annual Day of Remembrance on November 20th, which honors the memories of those lives that were taken in acts of anti-transgender violence. And whereas transgender individuals are an integral part of the social and economic fabric of the city of Orlando, and whereas the transgender individuals have positively impacted our community in business, government, science, and medicine, to name a few areas. And whereas the city of Orlando is proud to be an inclusive city for everyone, regardless of gender, race, religion, nationality, disability, sexual orientation, or gender identity. Now, therefore, we, Buddy Dyer, Mayor of Orlando, and Patty Sheehan, Commissioner, District 4, do here proclaim the week of November 13 through November 19, 2020 as Transgender Awareness Week in the city of Orlando. Yay!
Yay! Love hearing that. Thank you so much, Felipe. That was beautiful to listen to. And
well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely, and so exciting for the city to also take initiative to, kind of show the community a lot of love as well.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. All right, I think we are going to move on to our next guest speaker before we get to the pieces. Her name is Ashley Figueroa from the Gender Advancement Project. www.genderadvancementproject.org if you want to find out more about them. And Alex, would you like to tell us more about Ashley Figueroa?
Absolutely. And I believe, was everything covered as far as the proclamation for the city as well, Felipe?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I wanted to make sure we got all the good info in there.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, so so starting off again with Ashley Figueroa from the Gender Advancement Project. Ashley Figueroa is an award-winning leader in social service and a proud trans Latina American woman. Ashley is the founder and executive director of the Gender Advancement Program, which focuses on the progression and inclusion of transgender and gender non-binary individuals in Central Florida. Ashley also serves in support of several regional and national organizations working to radically shift our world into a more inclusive and just place. She currently sits on the advisory board for Equality Florida's Trans Action Program, serves as a grant maker for the Contigo Fund, is a co-founder and a board member of the Orlando Trans Collective, and is an active member of the national network Latin Plus. In 2019, Ashley was appointed by Orlando Mayor Buddy Dyer to serve as part of the City of Orlando's Census Complete Count Committee. In recognition of her commitment to service to the community, Ashley was named as the recipient of the 2019 Voice of Equality Honor by Equality Florida and was named among Watermark's most remarkable people of 2019 for her continued advocacy and leadership within the transgender community of Orlando. And in 2020, Ashley was recognized by Honor 41 as part of their list of 41 national leaders to follow in our movement to LGBTQ+ Latinx equality.
Another incredible bio, just incredible people that we have tonight. I'm so honored.
Another amazing bio, absolutely. And I believe Ashley will also be joining us on the screen in a moment here.
Yes.
Yay. Hello.
Hi, hello, good evening. It's an honor to be here with you all this evening. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to see what, we have going on tonight. Very many talented individuals from my sisters, my brothers, siblings in general, that are highlighting, they're showcasing their talent, because that's what one of the things that we are as human beings, right? We're all human beings, but a lot of our members in the community are very talented as well. And so Fringe Orlando, decided to put this beautiful, amazing show today to showcase some of that. And so stay tuned and enjoy the show, because it's going to be amazing. But I want to share a little bit about, so my name's Ashley Figueroa, like, we just, you all introduced me. And I am the executive director for Gender Advancement Project. And so I want to share a little bit of information about what life is like for a transgender individual of color, being Puerto Rican and having lived here for about 22 years now, I can tell you that, you know, this what you're going to see, obviously, with our community, is that the transgender individuals, regardless of, you know, the race or anything, are some of the most resilient individuals that you would ever come across and meet. And that's because we have to overcome, you know, a lot of stigma that comes with, you know, being transgender. And so we have to build that thick skin. And for that reason, I always say that we're one of the most resilient individuals that, you know, you ever come across and encounter. But um, know that, you know, transgender individuals, we are siblings, you know, we're your neighbors, we're your coworkers, and we're just like you know, there's really nothing, you know, that makes us very much different than, you know, at the end of the day, we're all the same, we're all humans. And so there's some numbers too that I want to highlight. As transgender individuals, it is estimated that about 1.5 million adults identify as transgender in the United States. From the limited research, it is estimated that non-binary individuals make up 25 to 35 or more of the transgender population. Transgender individuals contend with higher rates of discrimination than others in the LGBTQ plus community. 90% face discrimination at work, with 25% reporting a job loss due to bias. Gender discrimination continues when transgender people seek health care, access to public spaces, public assistance, or entry into homeless shelters. In a 2018 survey, nearly 20% of transgender respondents were refused medical care. The number is higher for people of color, and 28% were harassed or misgendered while seeking medical care. An alarming 40% of transgender individuals have attempted suicide, according to a 2018 survey, a number that jumps to 78% of those who have experienced physical or sexual abuse. And the transgender, non-binary, and gender non-conforming people, like we just mentioned, along from discrimination, you know, it's also high rates of poverty, violence at disproportionate rates. Black trans women are especially at risk of becoming victims of violent crimes. While Orlando is very welcoming, a welcoming place for a growing transgender and gender non-binary community, resources do not meet the demand for suicide prevention services, competent medical care, low-income housing assistance, and homelessness support. And that's the reason why it's so important for organizations, you know, for companies to highlight and give us an opportunity to bring awareness and education around the transgender topic in the community. We are, you know, as a whole, the fact that, you know, some of the ways that you can actually support Gender Advancement Project, we are the first trans-led, so by and for the transgender community in Central Florida. There was never anything else before of that sort, and we strongly believe that who better to advocate for our community than the transgender community ourselves. We know, you know, the transgender people know what the transgender community needs. And so as the organization here, first led by and for, with over 8 individuals of gender non-binary experience as well, 60% of them being of color, transgender individuals, and gender non-binary that sit on our advisory council. Our goal is to empower and uplift the transgender community here in Central Florida. This year, we started with our very first fund. That's how we actually launched Gender Advancement Project. And our goal is to give out micro grants to the transgender non-binary community members of Central Florida who were affected by the COVID-19. So those individuals come to us, they apply for the grants, and then we assist them with that micro grant. As well as, like I mentioned, you know, the empowerment piece that we do as well, and the uplifting of our transgender community. And that's some of the ways that you can actually get involved and help our community is by, you know, supporting like organizations like Gender Advancement Project. There's other organizations as well here in Central Florida that are doing a lot of the work. Equality Florida does a lot of great work around the transgender community, the Center Orlando, Divas in Dialogue. And so some of those ways is for you to be able to support, those organizations. For example, Gender Advancement Project, you can go to our website and make donations to support our work and advocacy that we're doing for our community, as well as, putting events together like the one that Fringe is doing here today to highlight the talent of our beautiful community members and, support this type of events, donate. This tips that you have for the participants, it's all for them. So this is, again, very great ways to support our community, in addition to, also challenge. Whenever a lot of times people have fear of the unknown. And so when you hear conversations where, it's not speaking highly of the transgender community, or any hatred towards our community, challenge that, get to know, have a conversation with those individuals and find out why they're thinking that way. A lot of times it's the lack of education, right? That fear of the unknown. That's another way as well that you can support our community. So thank you so much for having me this evening, and enjoy the show. And, thank you so much to Fringe Orlando for putting this together. And thank you both for having me.
Yeah, it was great to hear everything about the Gender Advancement Program as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was really beautiful. You really got into that so deeply, Ashley. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Are you sticking around so that we can maybe talk to you a little bit and ask some more about what's happening this month?
Yeah.
Great. Something that I really want to know is what's happening this month specifically for trans awareness and remembrance.
Yeah, so Transgender Awareness Week, it's observed usually during those days, like Felipe mentioned, for the month of November. And so here in Orlando, actually, nationally, internationally as well, it was created to observe and honor those individuals that we have lost as a result to, violence and massacres and stuff like that. Not massacres, excuse me, but, the violence against our transgender community, of murders and such things. And so what we have done here in Orlando in particular is that we have put, in addition to just remembering these individuals in, one day, we do a week-long line of events. And there's different, so Orlando Trans Collective, as well as the City of Orlando, we work on putting these events together and other organizations. And we wanted that this week, what we do that week, we highlight, we have different events. We have for the transgender community, for example, events where we have table discussions. We invite, individuals of the community. We invite people who are simply interested in learning more to participate, get to know more about our community, as well as, doing events, social events for the transgender non-binary individuals. That's something else that we do along that week, as well as on the actual day of Transgender Day of Remembrance. This year, things are a little bit different event-wise because of COVID. But needless to say, we're here. We're gonna do the actual. We're still gonna put on the events. But on the actual day, what we're gonna be doing is most of it is gonna be virtual. But different organizations are gonna be doing the events where we actually read out the names of those individuals. This year, sadly, alone, there's already been 34 individuals who we've lost as a result of violence and murders in our nation. And, those rates are, outrageous in the sense that, when you break that down in 11 months, that's close to 3 individuals a month. And so putting these events together is a way for us to be able to continue to educate, create the change, that we need, so that one day we don't have to sit here and have these discussions about, the numbers being so high or anything like that. As well, for the events that we put the lineup, we have Orlando Trans Giving, which is an evening that we spent together with community members to celebrate, honestly, Thanksgiving, and we come together, have meals. This year, we're going to be doing it more in the setting where we're going to issue vouchers out. The transgender individuals are able to register, and then we're partnering up with local restaurants to be able to provide those individuals with a meal. They'll be able to go to the restaurant and pick up their meals this year, and then participate while they're enjoying their dinner. They could also participate that evening in the actual Day of Remembrance event that's going to happen virtually, but we read and in honor of those individuals that we've lost, we read their names. So those are some of the events. We have So check out Orlando Trans Collective. We have events there, as well as the One Orlando Alliance. Felipe with the City of Orlando has done a tremendous job helping us put these events together. And those are some of the actual organizations that you can go to the sites, as well as Gender Advancement Project, to learn more about what are the events happening as well around Orlando for transgender awareness.
Great. Thank you so much, Ashley.
You're welcome.
And for anybody who's wondering at home, how can you talk about a little bit about how people could get involved with the Gender Advancement Project?
Yeah, absolutely. You can go to our actual website, genderadvancementproject.org. You can also find us on Facebook as well. Those are some of the ways that you could actually learn more about us and find out about opportunities, to get more involved. Like I mentioned before, you can make donations to us on that website. But if you want to get involved in other ways, feel free to send us an email, reach out to us, and let us know what you're interested in, and then we can guide you in that right direction.
Sounds awesome.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Alex, do you have any last questions for Ashley?
Yeah, could you also, and you touched on this a little bit already, but could you also talk a little bit about kind of what the next couple of weeks represents for the trans community, kind of just across the nation as well?
Yeah, so honestly, what it is to honor, bring awareness to the transgender community as a whole, and to also honor those individuals that we've lost due to violence. That's really what we do. And during that week, it's a great week to bring awareness in the sense of, there's individuals that want to simply learn about the transgender community, the transgender individuals as well. Oftentimes, our community members don't have that support system, when they decide to transition and live their life authentically. And so events like this are so important to our community members who don't have that support, system at home or with friends or anything like that, is to provide that platform as well during such important days. And again, to continue to touch the minds and change the hearts and educate, because that work is just going to give us, that equality that we need, and change that culture where transgender individuals are discriminated against and shined upon for just living our authentic selves.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us, Ashley, and for kind of giving us a little bit more info on what's going on.
Thank you both. You're doing great with hosting this event. I'm enjoying it. So thank you so much, and I hope to see you both very soon.
Absolutely.
Same to you. We will be seeing you soon.
That's good. Bye.
Bye. All right. Well, it's been great getting to talk to both of them, but now we are moving on to the fringe part of things and the pieces, which is very exciting. So our first is My Magical Gay Marriage from Jeremiah Gibbons of JG Productions. This is the bio from Jeremiah, how they like to describe themselves. My name is Jeremiah Gibbons, but you can call me Mia. I'm a little queer singer-songwriter here in Orlando, singing my songs and telling my story. I have written and produced musicals, and I also do stand-up and storytelling as I perform with Lele, my ukulele. I am gay and gender fluid. And a little blurb about the show. I share my love story as I sing my songs. I gotta say, I was talking to Lindsay Taylor of Orlando Fringe about this, and we both love the show blurb because it's so common for show blurbs to turn into paragraphs and paragraphs, which is also beautiful. And people that write paragraphs and paragraphs of show blurb, please keep doing it. But it is really great to also see some that are just, I share my love story as I sing my songs.
And absolutely love it. Just straight to the point, telling you what you're going to get.
Mm-hmm. Jeremiah,
I'm also very excited to meet this ukulele with a name.
Yes, very excited.
Hello, my name is Jeremiah, but you can call me Maya. This is my ukulele, Lele, and I'm going to sing to you about my love story. Not with Lele, my husband. Spoiler alert. Boopity boop, I love you. Boopity boop, I love you. Boopity boop, what would I do if I were to live without you? Boopity boop, I love you. Boopity boop, I love you. Boopity boop, what would I do if I were to live without you? So just a little context. I grew up knowing that I was going to be an artist, and I grew up knowing that I was queer. And those two things together, I was pretty certain that I wasn't ever going to get married. Fast forward some time, I graduate from college in 2015, which was followed by a post-collegiate terrible summer, which landed me that October here in Orlando because I just needed to leave home and decided to come to the theme parks. So by Christmas time, I was fairly well established. I had my job and everything, and I had made a few friends, but I was still feeling particularly lonely. I wasn't invited to any Christmas parties or anything, and it was my first year off on my own, first time working, and yeah, I was just feeling kind of lonely. The next day, however, I'm going through Facebook and I see this status that's like, I'm home for Christmas. And suddenly I shot from a 5 to a 10 on a particular gay dating app. And I responded with, I'm from the middle of nowhere. So I totally get that. And so he messages me and I message back and we talk about some gay things like Judy Garland and Cher and being gay. And he's like, hey, why don't I take you out for a drink? I'm like, it's the week before New Year's. I work every night. And he's like, how about brunch? I was like, swell. What cheap brunch places do you know? He's like, fair enough. So we decided to go for a picnic. He brought the stuff to make mimosas, and I made strawberry muffins. And we went to Fort Wilderness, and we ate it on Bay Lake, and it was lovely. The mimosas he made, by the way, were in the French style, or how they do it at Epcot, which is you pour a glass of champagne and then splash some orange juice in it. And then afterwards, we went canoeing, which was very picturesque. And when we were done, I drove him home, which was the polite thing to do since I had driven him there. And yeah, I was driving away and I get this message, and he's like, yeah, I would have kissed you goodbye, but I was feeling kind of sniffly. And mind you, for this next part, this was the pre-COVID times, so I don't know that I particularly recommend this, but I did a U-turn and I got my kiss. So fast forward some time, and he is a huge Marvel fan. He got into the movies. Captain America is his favorite because Chris Evans, come on. And he is really hyped because the next movie to come out is Captain America Civil War. So since we're getting serious, he's decided we should go together. He's got all these things planned. He's going to buy this like shield pillow that's in the shape of the shield and has a handle on the back and everything. But leading up to it, I need to see all of the movies so I can understand. I hadn't seen all of them up to this point. I wasn't even fully aware that it was all a whole universe. I thought they were just separate movies. So that's where we were going into this. And so we go through all of them, Iron Man to Ant-Man. And at the end, he's like, cool, we have seen all of them. We are ready to go. And I'm like, not just yet. And I go to my closet and I pull out that shield pillow that he had been saving money for. I hand it to him and I tell him that I love him for the first time. And he said it back to me and we kissed. And it was very beautiful. I am by your side, and you'll be just fine. Hold your hand in mine. Hold on to your pride, and hold on, and hold on. Hold strong to your song. Though the hurt is real and you don't feel sane, I will soothe your wounds, I will heal your pain. Though you're raw with fear, I will be right here. Someday soon they'll know just how far you'll go. Until then, my dear, hold your loved ones near and hold on, and hold on, hold strong. We're your song. So fast forward, I've seen all the movies at this point, and I decide that I'm also a Marvel fan. Not quite to his level, but the next movie to come out was Doctor Strange, and once Magic was introduced, I was like, yeah. And he's my favorite, so perfect. So the time comes and he decides that we're going to go to Disneyland, mostly to see Disneyland. We're huge theme park nerds, but also because the MCU versions of all of the Marvel characters only meet and greet over there. They don't meet in Disney World, or most of them do not. So we were going with a bunch of friends. We decided that that was going to be the first thing that we did. So we all Disney bounded as our favorite characters. He was Captain America. I was Doctor Strange. Our friends were all their favorite characters. And the first thing we were going to do was meet all of these characters. So the first one on our list, naturally, is Captain America. We're in line for him. He is super gorgeous. He's standing in front of a huge replica of his shield. We get up to him and he walks away from us. What the heck? But then Jordan turns to me and he's like, in front of the shield was the first time that we ever professed our love for each other. Now we're in front of the shield again. We're going to take it to the next level. And he pulls out this ring and he asks me to marry him. Now, I'm sure that there is recorded footage of this somewhere that I haven't had the heart to see because my brain was just going wild, but I was like, yes. And I took the ring and I put it on the wrong finger because I didn't know. And the rest of that trip, I was just in this whirlwind of excitement and some fear because it was a huge step. But mostly, I was just really happy that I was going to be spending the rest of my life with him. And we get home and everybody's very excited and they're like, good for you. When's the big day? And we're like, this literally just happened. We have no idea. But some time passes and people keep asking. And I'm like, I never thought that it would come to this. So I don't really have any idea what I'm doing at this point. I just know that I want to be with him. I know that I need legal documentation that we are a couple. But other than that, I don't really know. So a great deal of time passes, and he's like, we're going back to Disneyland with our friends, Danny and Sean. While we're there, why don't we just elope? And originally I'm like, that is not romantic. But then I think about it, and I'm like, what could be more romantic than just an intimate little elopement? Also, we were planning on not telling my friend Danny, and I wanted to surprise her because I knew she would lose her mind. So that was also incentive. So we fly. It was Danny and John and me and Jordan, and we were going to be staying, Jordan and I were going to be staying with some friends of ours, Lauren and Hannah, who are bi. And we get to their place and we're like, you should come in and meet each other since you're going to be hanging out a lot together. And we're like, and by the way, we decided when we're going to have our wedding. And they're like, oh, cool, when? We're like, tomorrow, 9 a.m. And everybody goes, oh, whoa. And Danny's like, I know that you told me to bring nice clothes with me, but I didn't know that it was going to be this. And Lauren's like, we're about the same size. And she brings them into her closet and gets her a dress, and it's lovely. the day comes and I'm dressed as Judy Garland from a film that she was in when she also eloped, wearing a white gardenia to top her off, Jordan's favorite flower. And it was just very beautiful and very intimate, and I wouldn't have had it any other way. And now I'm married to the man of my dreams. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Can you hear the wedding bells are ringing? Ain't it queer? The angels all are singing above about the golden love we're sharing. And everybody's staring. Tell me true, I'm done with being lonely. I love you, and you're my one and only. For life, we'll handle any strife together. Come rain or shine, whichever. Say you'll be the one for me, and I'll stroll the aisle gladly. Be the one to be for me, and I'll stroll the aisle gladly. Our love is queer. That's why I'm here. I love you, dear. So, if there's anything, any kind of advice that I could give to anyone, specifically any queer people, especially if you're in a relationship with someone else, don't feel like it has to be anything particular. Don't think that you have to hold yourself up to a cis hetero standard. Don't feel that you have to fit into what society tells you, or that you have to spend a certain amount of money to show your love for each other. Just live in your love and live your truth. You're beautiful. So I have been Maya. As I mentioned, I am at Maya Darling on all social media. That's Maya, D-A-H, Ling, like Judy would have said it. You can find me on all social media. I would like to thank Megan and Amanda and Phoenix Tears for helping me record this. I would like to thank Lauren, Hannah, Sean, and Danny for being good friends, and for Jordan for being one swell husband. I love you.
Yay!
We love a nerdy love story.
We love to see it. Oh, we love to see it.
Maya's going to join us back in for a minute, and welcome. Hello. First off, the flower crown is everything. The blush is everything.
Everything is everything. Everything is everything, and we are living. That was so wonderful. You made me smile. And I usually hate saying this because I think
it's hooray. I'm glad.
Made my heart smile. Oh, I'm sorry. I talked over you, Maya. Just made me very happy. Also, I'm very sorry at the beginning. I said Jeremiah also goes by Mia, and I'm sorry my brain cells did not compute Maya to Jeremiah. I'm very sorry about that. But I think Maya is so beautiful. I don't know anyone else that goes by Maya, and I actually know quite a few Jeremiahs weirdly, so I just love Maya. I love going by Maya. And yes, if you would like to tip Maya and all of our other artists, you can text Fringe to 41444. Alex, do you have anything that you would like to ask Maya? Because I definitely do. But
first off, I do have one question, because I don't know if everybody else has heard this, but I always hear ukuleles referred to as gay little guitars, and I love that. And I am just curious, what got you into love stories over a ukulele? Because I think that is just the best vibe you could have possibly given to your
I didn't know that the queer community claimed the ukulele, but like, what the heck? I'm not mad. So I was actually introduced to ukulele back when I used to live in Pennsylvania. I had an accompanist that I did a few gigs with
back there. And as a high school graduation present, she gave me Lele, and she has stuck with me ever since. It's just very convenient as a songwriter to have like a smaller instrument like this to go around with and just like strum out a few chords and come up with songs. So yeah, and Phoenix Tears likes to have music artists, and at the beginning of when they were introducing that, they were like, hey, I know that you play ukulele, would you like to come over? So that got me started like making that just the gig in itself. So
I also, you be you. Don't worry about being up to a standard. We love Amora. Yes, Megan Markham. Yes, we do.
This is also the Megan that I mentioned that helped me out. Thanks, Megan.
Thank you, Megan. And also, thank you to all of Phoenix Tears. Like Maya said, Phoenix Tears is great. We love Phoenix Tears here at Orlando Fringe and everything they do. And when you brought them up originally, Maya, it made me want to ask you more about your background as an artist and like what the type of art that you are most interested in and where you are in your artistic life and what kind of art you like. So I just threw a lot at you. I'm sorry.
That's a great smorgasbord of different things that I could talk about. So I grew up watching old MGM movie musicals. I don't think that I've mentioned my love for Judy Garland, so I think that I should address that here. And you know, I love music theater. I love camp, and I just, you know, that's a lot of where I'm coming from. I like the juxtaposition between like something that's like really huge, like the spectacle of a musical, versus like something much more smaller and intimate, like me just sitting around telling you a story and playing ukulele, and all the like middle in between there as well. So yeah, that's a lot of where I come from. I love music theater. I follow a lot of that. Yeah, I don't remember all of the like different facets you asked, but like that's a basic overview.
That was a fantastic overview, and thank you so much. I really love subverting camp and subverting musical theater like that and doing intimate stories from that. So I really, really love your view of how you do art. Where's the Spotify song track for I Love You? I agree, Mark.
There are lots of comments about requesting the SoundCloud link, requesting the Spotify.
Mm-hmm. So I do have a SoundCloud. It doesn't have any of the songs that I sang tonight. I might have to go back to Amanda and record them in the Phoenix Tears studio and get them up on Spotify. She certainly has been like, we need to do this, but then a pandemic happened. So, yeah, I don't have it on me right now, but like, keep an ear out and maybe in the future.
What you're telling us is we got a sneak preview tonight. This was very exclusive, up and coming of some brand new track.
Well, thank you so much for being with us, Maya, and thank you for showing your piece and giving us your story and your truth. We love to see it.
It has been a sincere pleasure.
Great. Mwah.
Perfect. I respect someone who can also get through the entirety of the Marvel series for love. I made the attempt. I got about as far as Guardians of the Galaxy, which was very good, but also there are quite a few movies to get through there. Oh my goodness.
It's a task.
All right, so moving on to our next lovely show for the evening. We're going to start up with Kelly Dunham and the Found Voice Productions with Adventures in Gender Confusion. So Kelly is the ex-nun genderqueer nurse storytelling nerd comic so common in modern Brooklyn. Kelly has appeared in Showtime and the Discovery Channel, the Moth Main Stage, the Cinderblock Comedy Festival, PBS and WGBH's Stories from the Stage, and nationwide at colleges, prides, fundraisers, and even the occasional livestock auction. Kelly was nominated as a 2015 White House Champion of Change for her work as the co-founder and producer of queer memoir NYC's longest-running, most super earnest LGBT storytelling event. Kelly's latest comedy special, Not the Gym Teacher, is available on Spotify, Apple Music, and wherever comedy is streamed. And New York Mayor Bill de Blasio once called Kelly a show-off to her face, which I think is just about the most impressive thing you can put into a bio for anything. So tonight we're going to be seeing Adventures in Gender Confusion again, which is when genderqueer comic Kelly Dunham goes whitewater rafting with friends and a Cub Scout jamboree shows up and hilarious confusion ensues.
I also love this show blurb.
So anyway, so if you look like me, if you're somebody who looks like me, or you have a friend who looks like me, you're dating somebody who looks like me, or your tattoos match with somebody who looks like me, do not, this is an absolute no, this is my new absolute no, do not go whitewater rafting when there is a Cub Scout jamboree going on. I should have known, right? Now I should have known. But because first we're all like walking around, I'm with my friends, and I go to the bathroom and I'm by myself, and everyone's like, where is your buddy? Where is your buddy? That wasn't bad enough. Oh no, that wasn't even the start of it, right? So we get in the boats, and as we get in the boats, just not even 50 yards into the river, because apparently I'm a bad lesbian, a big wave comes along, washes me out of the boat. Right. So that's nice. Thanks for the sympathy. And it's the same people in back who are like, you suck! You suck because you're not talking longer! So I fell in the water, and if you can just imagine, all the Cub Scout leader could see from here up, floating along. So he naturally felt like he had to take some action. I don't know if you've been rescued when you're not actually drowning. It's a lot of work for both people. So after some time, after a rather protracted struggle, he dragged me into the boat. And there was kind of this long silence where he realized he hadn't rescued a Cub Scout. He had annoyed an adult female. Now, the Boy Scout motto is be prepared. He wasn't prepared for that moment. And I was not prepared for the fact that now I was in a boat full of Cub Scouts. 100 yards away from all my friends. So we're like going down the river, and you're supposed technically to paddle when you're whitewater rafting, but none of the Cub Scouts were paddling. You know why they weren't paddling? They were staring at me. And they weren't very subtle either, right? Like when they thought I'd look away, they'd be like, why does he have boobs? Why does he have boobs? And one little boy got up his courage. He reached over, he tapped me on the leg, and he's like, what troop are you from? And I was like, a drag troop, buddy. that did not clear it up for him at all. So, because they aren't, they aren't paddling, so the boat keeps turning over. And when there's one point we're like 100 yards from the end, we're all like cold and freezing and hungry, and the boat's capsized, and we're trying to bail it out. And this kid, he's such a kid of 2000s, right? He's like, starts crying, and he's like, oh my God, I wish this were just a video game I was playing. And I was like, me too, little man. Me too. Thank you very much. I'm Kelly Dunham.
Creativity, 100%. We love. Oh my gosh.
I never knew how much I loved stop motion Legos until now. That was, well, I think we should bring Kelly in.
Absolutely.
To talk to them about this.
Welcome in. Hello.
Thank you. Hi, y'all.
Well, I think it's very clear how we both felt about that. That was hilarious. You are an amazing comedian and storyteller, and the way that you applied this animation to it and really made it a full digital piece of art is really incredible. I loved it.
Can I ask what inspired the Legos?
So, well, the pandemic mostly. So there's no, I came out with this CD in February 7th, right? And by March, things were shut down. And so I'm obviously not going to tour it. So I was like, well, all right, like what is there? So what can I learn that will enhance my comedy while I'm at home? And I love Lego. I am a adult fan of Lego, which is a thing. AFOL. And I've been in a bunch of AFOL groups on Facebook, which are kind of hilarious because they do as much infighting as like queer groups do, but about, different kinds of things. So it's always very amusing. But yeah, so I'm, adult fan of Lego, and I've been thinking about doing stop motion animation. And I was like, well, maybe I could just teach myself. So I literally taught myself how to do it over the summer, just by watching YouTube videos. And yeah, it's actually created. I'm using Mac's native presentation software, and then I just manually forward it through while I play the soundtrack to a CD. So really? It's super low tech, yes.
Sometimes the lower tech, the better. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Agree. Alana also agrees. Brilliant. Alana is one of our big names at the Orlando Fringe, and so if she loves something, she means it. Oh, and Lisa Hart as well. Please do more with Orlando Fringe, Kelly. We already love you. Felipe from earlier also says hilarious. This is absolutely brilliant. Tempest House said, all of the Fringe names and all the Orlando names love you, Kelly, and they want you back, and I do too. Please keep in touch with Orlando Fringe, and please keep coming back for more stuff. This was fantastic. I also wanted to say that I noticed at the end you had like little links. This was a YouTube video. Do you have a YouTube channel or some like social media that we could go to keep following?
Yeah, I gave in my but if you just do Kelly Dunham on YouTube, you'll find me. And it would be great actually if I had a little bit more gender friendly following, because YouTube land is kind of like I've put up. I have a bunch of old stand-up videos and that kind of thing. And I've had, and haven't really, sometimes there's the off weird comment or terrible comment or whatever. But this video has had the most negative reaction, I think, from I guess it feels like Lego stop motion animation is just like a certain kind of bro thing, and they did not like me coming in on their bro thing. It was there was a point in which it was getting I don't know, it's up to 3,000 views now. It's just a month old. It's got 3,000 views. It was a point where it was every time I'd refresh, there was a comment that was you're a freak of, you're a freak, you're whatever, that I would have to just delete as I, because also I don't care about that, but some young kid's going to come along and be like, oh my God, this is something I relate to. And then these people are saying something terrible. So apparently stop motion world is kind of a bro land. Did not know that. So Anyway,
Well,
but there's
some
lots. Yeah,
of the
I've
big
built.
audiences.
Yeah. So.
I didn't know that either, but I guess I can't say I'm surprised.
Yeah, I was surprised, but I don't know why. You know.
The interesting things we assign with gender.
Yeah, exactly. That's so sweet. Yeah, I was really I was somewhat subscribed. Also, did you know I have a connection to Orlando? Would you like to hear my Central Florida connection?
Absolutely.
I actually went to high school in Daytona Beach, which I know is not Orlando, but come on, it's
Close enough.
I went to Warner Christian Academy in Daytona Beach, and they actually when I was a senior, they made a rule that girls, which is what they saw me as, could not wear flannel shirts. Obviously, that's a rule about me, right? There's only 21 people in the graduating class. Like, literally, there was a flannel rule about not wearing flannel shirts to school. So, anyway, despite that, like, I'm still friends with all my teachers from Warner Christian Academy on Facebook. Like, we all kind of like, I mean, I wouldn't say it's smooth, but, we're all together. Yeah, so I have a strong Central Florida connection.
Where the ex-nun part comes in as well?
No, I was a nun in New York.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, that's not true. I volunteered with the Missionaries of Charity, the kind of nun I was in Miami for a while. But there are, alas, no Missionaries of Charity in Central Florida at all.
We absolutely loved your piece and loved having you, and overwhelming reviews. Would love to continue to have you with the Orlando Fringe. So excited to have you as a first-time Fringer with us today.
All right. Well, yeah, thank you so much. This is so nice. So I really appreciate it. It's really fun to work on and fun to see what everyone's doing.
Well, I think out of this, you're going to get a lot more subscribers and a much bigger following. And thank you for coming to see what everyone else is doing too.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah. All right. I think we got to move on to another interview with someone that we're very excited to speak to.
Yes. So today we have Michelle from Alchemy Salon. And Alchemy Salon in Orlando, kind of going along with our theme for the day, is going to be offering free haircuts for people who are transitioning. So at this time, we're going to welcome Michelle to join us and tell us a little bit more about the actual program and a little bit more about the actual salon.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey. So Alchemy they're offering haircuts for anybody that is transitioning, and it's going to be on the house just to kind of celebrate Trans Awareness Week and to also make the trans community more comfortable and to kind of have like a safe space where you can go into a salon and not feel uncomfortable and not feel scared or judged or anything like that, which we are super excited about because I feel like that's very important and not a lot of salons offer that.
Yeah, absolutely. This sounds like such a unique program too. I hadn't heard of anything previously like this. How long are you guys going to be offering kind of this program, or how long is it going for?
So it is November 8th through the 14th. So you just have to call Alchemy directly, or you can email them as well and just tell them that you want to get a haircut.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's exciting. I think I believe that like whenever you are in the mix of transitioning, that it shouldn't be a scary process. It should feel exciting and like you are almost like, I don't know, kind of just you're finally showing who you are and how you feel. And it's cool to be with a stylist that understands that and that wants to kind of just like work with you to get the best look possible, because nobody wants a bad haircut when you've had long hair for a really long time, or even just had bad haircuts for a long time. It's nice to have somebody that's like, hey, I got you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody at Alchemy is incredible. All the stylists there are just so welcoming and just very open to pronouns. And it's like, if you don't want to talk about it, you don't have to tell anybody you're transitioning. Like, we could just do your hair or we could talk about whatever you want. Like, it's a very open space, which is why I've wanted to work there since I got out of hair school.
Yeah. What kind of inspired you guys as a salon to get this program in action? Did you guys have any kind of personal connections to the trans community, or just wanted to outreach?
Okay, so I started working at Alchemy like a month ago, and but for all the years that they've been open, they've always been part of the LGBTQ community. But I also feel like, personally, I'm with a trans man, and I want nothing more than to make somebody feel super comfortable and confident and just kind of like, hey, like, we got you. Like, you don't have to worry about, having a bad haircut or even cutting your hair at home. Like, it's like, that's a scary process too. And there's something that when hairstylists work with anybody, they can be trans, they can not. Like, it's like such an amazing feeling to help somebody feel the way that they've always wanted to feel. And I've had a few clients where, I knew that they wanted to say something, but like their mom was standing right there and they were like, oh, I don't want to say anything, but they want to chop all their hair off, and their mom was like, no, or something like that. And it's just like, it's nice to say, like, and work in a space, in a salon where they're like, yeah, like, we are safe. We're a safe environment for you to come here and get your hair cut. And I think more spaces like that need to be available in Orlando.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Thank you so much for talking to us about this and for representing Alchemy here. I think outside of occasionally seeing it in movies and TV, we don't really talk about how hair and the salon experience is so important to transitioning and to the trans community. So I really appreciate you, Michelle, and Alchemy really thinking about that and caring so deeply about that and being that safe space. It's really outstanding.
I'm really honored to work for Alchemy, honestly. Like I said, I've been wanting to work for them since I got out of hair school. And I think anytime you go into Alchemy, like, you already feel welcomed. And it's like one of those spaces, one of those salons where you're like, oh, I can get anything done here. Like, there's no judgment. Like, you can talk about anything you want. It's very open. And that just includes like the hairstylist, the owner, all the managers. It's just, you feel warm. And I love that about them. And they are continually trying to better the Orlando community. I'm just honored to work for them. And I'm honored that they wanted me to come on here to speak about it, because I do feel really strongly about it.
And such a great place to share a little bit more about it too, because it's always nice to know that there's some people in the community who are just as excited to give you the gender affirming haircut as you are to get it, because it's such a big step. Even the first time and like the millionth time that you're still getting those haircuts, it's helping you present the way you want to, which is so important for everybody, but especially so much for the trans community.
For sure. Having a relationship with your hairstylist is also huge. Going back and forth with them, and kind of like, you get to know that person, and it just developing a strong relationship with them is like, it's honestly why I do hair. I don't just do hair because, the art part of it, it's more like I'm connecting with people and you hear their stories and stuff. I'm honored that somebody would come to me and say, hey, I want you to chop all my hair off. It's like, hell yeah, thank you. Like, thank you for letting me do that. I think that's, honestly, I just feel honored to be able to do that for somebody.
Awesome. And you said the best way to get in contact if people were interested in receiving one of those haircuts, or just in general, is through phone number, which we have beautifully displayed on the screen now as well.
Yeah, you can also call and ask for Tempest. She is our salon manager. You can either call or email the salon as well.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us and sharing a little bit more about this program with us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so we are about to move on to the second half of the night. No intermission, thankfully, because we're going to keep trucking ahead with amazing art. We are moving into the 13 and up and 18 and up portion. So pieces from here on out are rated PG-13 or R, no NC-17. We don't have showgirls going on here. That'll be saved for main fringe, some showgirls and dragon stuff. Before we get into that, I'm a bit hot under these stage lights, so just give me 1 second, Alex. I'm gonna.
Absolutely. Well, now that it's just us, all right. Well, oh, Andy's back. Andy's back.
For people that don't know, my brand is tie-dye shirts and fans that I like to really abuse by doing that. And, you know, I shouldn't because this happens. But, yeah, this is my brand. So I'm just going to be doing this occasionally. I'll make sure it's not distracting. I promise.
Never.
So, yeah, as we move into the 13 and up and 18 and up, these shows are about to get hot and steamy. And spicy, maybe not steamy, that might be a misleading word, but we are going to move into an absolute Orlando Fringe favorite that I know that we are both so excited for. Alex, have you ever experienced Pivira?
Oh, absolutely. It is, I think, impossible to experience Fringe for even more than a year and not be able to just experience the, for today's word, ghoulishness, and just absolute organized chaos that is everything about Pivira.
Organized chaos is exactly how I like to describe Pivira too. And tonight, AJ Pratt's and Dulce Artworks Incorporated are presenting Pivira's Ghoulish Guessers, a night of monster musicals. People that know Pivira from Orlando Fringe will know the van outside of the Orlando Shakes that with the oh so inviting bloody sheets around, and then you go in. And you have a beautiful interactive experience, just 5 or 6 of you in Pivira through a magical interactive musical game show style night. So created by AJ Pratt's, Madame Pivira, the fringy mime queen, is an award-winning variety entertainer, and she combines the art of pantomime with drag. Born from her love of Pee Wee Herman and Elvira, hence the name, this Queen of Fringe presents a versatile repertoire of short routines, sketch comedies, and game shows that are full of silly humor and sexy darkness. She is inspired by all things spooky, peevish personalities, and sensational behavior. Just a little bit more about this show specifically, which I think is going to be so well adapted to the digital world. Pivira's Ghoulish Guessers, a night of monster musicals, is a fun, spooky trivia show. It's for the dark at heart. The guests are going to be led by Pivira, the fringy mime queen, to participate in trivia-centered games of useless, spooky knowledge from popular monster musicals. Trivia rounds include multiple choice answers, word jumbles, quote guesses, and fill in the blanks. So this is going to be another great interactive piece that all of you watching can have so much fun interacting with, and I know that we will too. It's going to be complete with drag and fun interludes, and this is one show that will surely please your trivia night fix, all in 16 minutes. So, let's see Pivira!
Welcome to Pivira's Ghoulish Games, the fun, spooky trivia game for the dark at heart. Tonight's theme is A Night of Monster Musicals. You'll be participating in trivia-centered games of useless, spooky knowledge from popular musicals. There will be 4 rounds of trivia games that include multiple choice answers, word jumbles, quote guesses, and fill in the blanks. Now, without further ado, here's your host, the fringy mime queen herself, Madame Pivira!
Miss Pivira got ill the day that Trump shocked us all, and he told us to drink bleach. And Scarf Lady was there in complete disarray. Mr. Fauci was MIA. Then we all took a sigh for Clorox and Lysol. They warned us that we would all die. Then Pivira teamed up with the great CDC and told us to stick to the plan. Social distance, conference calling. Miss P-Vira will distract your brain. See her big lips move to the music. The fringing mime queen will entertain you. Oh, 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 oh. At the late night conference calling drag queen show. social distance. Conference calling. Miss P-Vira did her tribute. Broadway was honored. Gays and divas. The Broadway classics have all been covered. Whoa, at the late night conference calling drag queen show. I wanna go. To the late night conference calling drag queen show.
Well, that's all, folks. Thanks for playing along. Hope you had fun. Please visit and follow Myra on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube under the Fringe Friday. Good night.
People really know their trivia today. That was impressive.
Oh, they do? Oh, I'm so glad. I was personally staking my whole reputation on if I got the Rocky Horror questions right. So I was really relieved when I did. Like, if I got one of those wrong, it'd be over.
It was going to be an issue. I think it's time to invite Madam P. Vira.
Is.
Join us.
Welcome to the stage. Hello.
Hi.
Madam P. Vira. How are you tonight? You have an incredible backdrop going on.
Fringe.
Yeah.
Well fitting. Very appropriate.
Appropriate. Great mind. So, as we've talked about, P. Vira is a total Orlando Fringe favorite. Everyone loves P. Vira. It is a staple. You have to go in the van. Like, you have to do it. It's required. I would love, we talked about a little bit in your bio, sort of like the background of what inspired you to make P. Vira, but I've always wanted to know, like, the history of P. Vira, like how P. Vira really came about and, became a thing, and the history of P. Vira from when you created her until now.
Well, so growing up, I was a huge Pee Wee Herman fan. I would watch Pee Wee's Playhouse every Saturday at 10 a.m. And then I was kind of introduced to Elvira later on, like in my high school, college years. So I've always loved both of them. They've always kind of like been in the back of my brain and in my heart forever. I came in 2010, I got towards the end of a 7-year relationship, heartbreaking, found myself kind of like at a transition point where like, what am I going to do? Like, what's going on with my life? And they both kind of popped in my head because I have a theater background and I've studied theater all my life. And I've always loved sketch comedy. And the Groundlings Theater in LA is kind of the best place for that, which they both have trained there, Paul Rubens and Cassandra Peterson. So I kind of was like, I'm going to follow their footsteps. I'm going to go to LA. I'm going to train with the Groundlings. I'm going to create this show, this sketch show. I'm going to create this character, and I'm just going to have fun with it. I was there for like about a year, and then I had to come back because my mother got sick and I had to take care of her. But I chose to move to Orlando because I auditioned for Halloween Horror Nights, and I got in because I love Halloween and everything spooky. Because I didn't want to stay in Miami, but I also couldn't be that far away from my family, which is from Miami. So I decided to move to Orlando, and one of my best friends, Shalee, introduced me to Orlando Fringe. She's like, you should do Orlando Fringe. And I was like, huh. So while I was with the Groundlings, this whole story of this voodoo mistress popped in my head, this voodoo mistress who kind of like takes revenge on evil men that have broken her heart. And that kind of popped in my head. And originally when I created that show, that was going to be played by a female. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to play this character. And so that's why I named her P-Vira, which is the love child of Pee Wee Herman and Elvira. And then the rest is history. So then in 2011, actually next year, it's going to be 10 years that P-Vira was born. And in 2022, the year after that, will be 10 years that I've been with Fringe. So it's pretty exciting stuff.
Yes.
Oh,
We can always count on you to give us the year-round Halloween. Even though we're out of Halloween, still have the lovely spooky voodoo vibes all year.
Listen, I love Halloween. It's my favorite.
Yes. Oh, we love to see it. We love to see you around Halloween. So thank you for that.
Very Fringe.
Thank you.
I'm so excited for, next year's Fringe 30th anniversary and for you to have your return there. And
well, next year will be the Van's 5th anniversary. Because I started the Van show, P-Vira Scaravan Sing Along. I started that in 2017. So
anniversaries all around.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And also the continuous reminder, as you guys are seeing on the screen right now, if you guys want to tip P-Vira and all of our beautiful, wonderful, lovely artists, text Fringe to 41444.
And P-Vira, I would love to keep asking you 10 million questions, just like I'd love to keep asking everyone here 10 million questions, but I do think we gotta keep moving on because we're trying to get the pieces wrapped up by 9 at least. But we will be back later, hopefully, for our group talk back at the end.
I love me some group action.
Ooh.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Thanks for joining us.
And happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Always. Amazing. Also leave it to P-Vira to make the most COVID-friendly, socially distanced, spooky, fun, interactive little activity for us on this wonderful evening.
I agree. I didn't even mention the incredible parody lyrics. I was like, we've been talking about Maya's like Spotify and SoundCloud. I need to get P-Vira's automatically.
Where's the remix
there? Broadway was honored.
All right, up for our next wonderful, which I'm very excited for. The next thing we're going to be seeing tonight is One Day, One Do, a genderless exploration of soda from Salvation Mercy. So Salvation is a non-binary artist and activist in Orlando, Florida. They describe the performance style as drag meets burlesque meets stupidity. Salvation also hosts a weekly podcast called Read Through. And today we will be seeing Salvation drink a Mountain Dew, describe it, talk about it, and hopefully like it. Which again is another show blurb that is just one gorgeous little sentence. And I'm very excited to see this lovely little showing tonight.
Yay. Let's get right to it.
Hello, friends out there. It's me, Salvation J Mercy. And tonight, the J stands for Jupiter because I am pumped to be here with all of you. And I just want to welcome you to One Day, One Do. All right, now tonight's kind of a fancy night, right? It's kind of a special evening, right? So I thought I'm going to give you guys a little something different. If you out there at home, if you know me, I'm a Mountain Dew Zero kind of gal. That's the kind of gal I am. But tonight I thought I'm going to give you a little something new, a little something different. And I decided, let's go Code Red. Woo, woo, woo. Sound the alarms. It's getting crazy. It is Code Red. Let me tell you, I'm excited. Now, I only got 15 minutes to do this. So we're going to crack in. We're going to get going. All right. Now, we're going to zoom in a little. We're going to get close. Let's get close. Let's get close. We're going to, this is all for all my ASMR fans out there. Are you listening? If you feel like ASMR, listen in now. Oh, let's crack this baby open. Let's listen. Oh, wow. Did you hear that? Man, I heard that. Let me tell you, sound the alarms again, because that was amazing. Wow. Oh, you can tell, fresh. When I buy Mountain Dew, let me tell you, that's the one thing I expect is freshness. And they never disappoint. They never disappoint on freshness. All right. let's dive on in, sound the alarms, let's get started. Wow, man, that is a delicious flavor. Let me tell you, that cherry really comes out. That pops you in the mouth right from the jump. You know, you don't need any other codes, right? You're going to sound code red, code red, code red, code red. That's that cherry. That is that cherry coming at you. Man, that's good. Man, that cherry is so good. Wow. Carbonated water, high fructose corn syrup, which I'm not supposed to have. And I'm starting to see why. Concentrated orange juice. Oh, let me tell you, you can taste the orange. You can taste that little subtle, that little hit, it hits you in the back of the palate. You know, kind of, you clench your jaws up. That's that orange. That's that orange. Citric acid, sodium polyphosphates to protect the flavor. And let me tell you, that cherry flavor is protected. That is good. That is good. Now, like I said earlier, you know, red is my favorite color. You know, clearly, red's my favorite color. And let me tell you, that color is what got me. That color is what got me, but that taste is what's keeping me hanging on. Set me free, why don't you, baby? No, I don't want this thing to set me free. It can keep me hanging on. It can keep me hanging on. And at only 280 calories, man. That's all. That's nothing. Think. You need 1,000 calories a day to live? I don't know. I'm no scientist. Clearly, I am too gorgeous to be a scientist. But yeah, you need 1,000 calories a day to live. Think you can have, 5 of these a day, and you'd be fine. You'd be great. You would be able to run a marathon. Let me tell you, they would have to sound that code red because you would be on fire. Yeah. And I feel on fire. I feel just as on fire and red hot as this. Let me tell you. I can't even. It took my words away. They sang, "Take my breath away." Let me tell you, this took my breath away. Wow, that is good. That is good. And 0 grams of total fat. Zero grams total fat. You know what I mean? That's health. That is healthy. This is healthy. This is like a salad, a red salad. You know, they have beet salads. There's chicken salad. Let me tell you, Mountain Dew salad. How about that? Have that. Order that as a side. Can I get a side of Mountain Dew? I want to have that as a salad option. Man, this is good. 180 milligrams of sodium. That's nothing. That's nothing. How big is a milligram? No one knows. You don't know. You don't know. You have no idea. No one knows how big a milligram is. So it must be tiny. And 180 of those, you probably can't even see them. You probably cannot even see them. 76 total carbs. Again, nothing. Healthy. Healthy. This is health. Look at that. Another little tidbit. Another little tidbit for you ASMR folks. You're welcome. You're welcome. But look at that. Look at that color, honestly. And when they tell you code red, you don't need to sound the alarms. You don't need any other codes. We don't need code orange. We don't need code yellow. We don't need any others. Code red is where it's at. That's the code I love. That's the code I love. Code red, code red, code red. Man, that's good. Wow, that cherry flavor is really just, it lingers. the cranberries, the cranberries out there, they said, why do you have to let it linger? Let me tell you, no, wrong. The cherry is what lingers, mama. Let me tell you, that lingers. I just crack in there and just have another sip. Man, that is good. Wow, that's good. And let me tell you, Mountain Dew, I thought Mountain Dew Zero was where it's at. When I started this, I was a Mountain Dew Zero kind of gal. I told you guys. I let you in on the secret. But now I'm going to fill you in. Sorry, don't tell Mountain Dew Zero, but between us, I think I like this one better. It's between us. Don't say anything, but that's between us, right? Wow, this is good. Man. Wow, friends, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I am, to be honest, I had to take a little flavor break. They don't tell you when you're on the way to Flavor Town that you're going to need some flavor breaks, but I had to take a little flavor break. And this flavor, it gets you. That cherry really is just a kick. It just, pow, right in the, wow, man, it gets you. I had to go run around a little bit. That was good. This is so good. Man, let me tell you, if you don't have one of these, you need to run out and get them. They're going to sound some codes. They're going to sound some alarms. And you need to go out and you need to get yourself one today because this is delicious. Go out, run to the stores, run, grab them, get all of them off the shelves. Because if you don't, I'm gonna. This is good. Wow, let's keep on going. Wow, friends, that is amazing. Man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I'm getting loud. I'm sorry I'm raising my voice to you. I don't mean to. I'm trying to keep it down. I'm trying to keep it down because there's such a flavor explosion coming out of here. I'm trying to be a little quiet. It would have nothing to do with the fact that I have neighbors and I don't want them to think I'm a crazy person. That has nothing to do with this. But let me tell you, I can't keep my voice down because this is so good. I mean, you hear that echo? You hear that echo? You hear that? That's a flavor echo. That's a flavor echo. Man, listen to that. That is good. Man, let me tell you, we're here to help. Let me tell you, Mountain Dew, you've already helped. You've already changed my life by giving me this fine product. Oh, friends, friends, hold up. Pause, stop, flavor train. We need to stop. Sound the alarm, code red alarm. Let me tell you. Oh, get that cherry flavor. Man, it got me. I'm drinking the code red. I'm happy. We're here. We're on the journey. I'm drinking, and then look at that. I don't know if you can see that, friends. There is a little MD on the side of that. Is so adorable. Oh, there's two. Oh my goodness, that is cute. Oh, that is cute. Adorable. Wow, that is so good. I mean, it is taking my vocabulary away. It's so good. My vocabulary is gone. I have nothing else to say besides this is good. Good to the last drop. And there's one more drop in there, and we're gonna get it. Let's get it. Man, let me tell you, good to the last drop. I'm so glad I could be here with you guys tonight. I'm so glad I could let you in my little crazy world and bring to you this wonderful product. Like I said, run out, go get yours today. Mountain Dew, code red is where it's at. Taste explosion. This is delicious. This is delicious.
I'm gonna I'm gonna lose my mind. That was hilarious.
I think we need to invite Salvation to the back to the stage for some beautiful that was everything. That was everything.
I try. I really try.
If Mountain Dew doesn't already have $1 million sponsorship with you, I think they're missing out. And I think this is your reel that you need to send to them, because that was.
I'm waiting for that or a cease and desist. I'll get one of those.
One of the two. Attention either way.
I'm too gorgeous to. Lisa, that was one of my #1 quotes. I'm too gorgeous to be a
scientist.
That's the quote of the night. Where's the merch?
It's like
a salad. It's like a salad.
It is like a salad. The quotes from this. Never ending.
Zero grams of total fat. That's like the milligram.
What's a milligram? You don't know.
Milligram.
You can't see those. You can't see them.
Absolutely. What inspired? What was the inspiration? I just have to ask.
Yes.
That's even better.
No. So there is. I love Mountain Dew. First off, I don't know what it is. I think it's it has such a yeehaw boy connotation to it.
Yes.
And I think that's why I love it, because I'm trying to take it back for myself.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know. To answer your question, I don't know what inspired this. My brain.
And I love that.
But yes, it's dumb, it's stupid, but this is my little show that I do, mostly because what it does is it draws people in, and it lets me make fun of myself for a while, and it gets people kind of relaxed and comfortable. And then it opens up conversations like this where they can say, what the f did I just watch? And then I can hit them with like well, you watched a non-binary person and we're just like you, right? We just want a Mountain Dew.
As a fellow non-binary person who just wants a Mountain Dew, I concur. I love it. I loved every second of that. Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
People talk about like, this is the future liberals want in a negative way, and like, this is the future that the liberals want. I want it.
This is the future. A liberal just wants to sit here with their cougar painting and drink a Mountain Dew. That's all they want.
That's it.
Mountain Dew Code Red, sound the alarm, get on the flavor train. That's what they want. Tonight's points are splendid. Chris, yes, they are. Thank you. Just as splendid as your profile pic, Chris. Y'all seeing Chris's profile pic? This is wonderful.
These dogs?
Everything. I also, Salvation, I want to ask you about some of your history as an artist. So you talk about being an artist and activist. I'd love to ask you about some of like your history, where Salvation has come from, and how you decided that you wanted to get into these fields, all that stuff. Sure.
Yeah. So I tell everyone I was sneaking into gay bars, and when I was young, I'm not giving my age. When I was young, and I always went to just go watch drag queens. That's all I ever wanted to do, and the showgirls and everything, and that's all I wanted to see. And so that's kind of where I started, and those were kind of the people that I say to this day kind of taught me how to be a queer person, were drag queens and like street queens and these people. So that's kind of where my history comes from, and I have done that for a while. And I also was very fortunate to be a member of the Lady Boys of the Peekaboo Lounge, which is a local burlesque group, and we are pretty much all either non-binary, trans, or gender non-conforming boys. I don't like that word, but we'll get there. And we take our clothes off for money. So that's kind of what else I do. And then, I've just always been I'm an Aquarius, so I'm naturally just kind of out there. And that's where my comedy comes from, and just watching and, being stupid.
We love it. We love to see it.
Love to see it. And is there any social media that we can follow you on? Is there anywhere where this video might be uploaded or anything? I would love to follow
Sure. You can actually go to my website, which is www.salvationmercy.com. And all my links to social media are on there, as all my everything. Yeah. Let's go there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and your website has a great layout as well.
Thank you. Thanks, Squarespace.
We love plugging Squarespace in the queer community. We love plugging Squarespace.
We love just breaking in the advertisements too. That this is a great marketing. Great marketing.
Bring it in. Oh my God. Thank you so much, Salvation.
Thank you for letting me be here tonight.
Well, thank you for your brilliant piece. I'm just going to send all the thanks back to you because I did not expect to laugh that much at this, and you really have this and all the other pieces have really brightened my night.
They sure have. They've been great.
Well, thank you so much. And I think we got to move on to our last piece. And hopefully we will see Salvation back for our little group talk back after the last piece. Yes. All right. So our last piece is going in a very different direction. And this is a dance piece and a movement piece. And these are also some first-time Orlando Fringers. And that is very exciting. This is Nick Daniels and the Dana Movement Ensemble with the show Sissy. So Nick Daniels has a lot going on in his life, and I'm so excited to go through all of this in their life and go through everything that they've done. So considered a pioneer in the Pittsburgh dance scene, Nick Daniels is the founding artistic director of the DANA Movement Ensemble, Dancers Against Normal Actions, which he started in 1991. With over 30 years of dancing choreography experience, he has reemerged after a 20-plus year hiatus, and since he has returned in 2016, his choreographic style continuously has developed. His style is based on butoh, African, modern, and contemporary styles, and based on pure, raw emotion. His creativity often entices the use of soundscapes and video imagery. His dancing career began at a young age as a student at McKeesport High School, where he began developing and perfecting various styles of dance. The now Pittsburgh resident has a Bachelor of Arts degree in dance from Slippery Rock University and started the DANA Dana Movement Ensemble prior to his graduation. Along with his company, he has received many awards, accolades, and favorable reviews from across the country. And then we're going to get into a little bit of the show, although I got to say, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, representing us tonight, cornerstone of the election. We love to see it. Woot, woot. Love to see what's happening in Pennsylvania right now. So getting back to Sissy. Sissy is an evening-length, multidisciplinary work that we are going to see a 15-minute preview of tonight. The work delves into his personal story, opinions, and perceptions of gender identification, and as he says, my exploration of masculinity versus femininity. He goes on to say, I have many memories of overhearing conversations about the way I behaved as a child. I was labeled Sissy early on, though I never thought nor embraced it. But in this piece, those feelings will be explored. He goes on to talk more about his choreography style, which, like we said, butoh, African, modern, and contemporary. And he really likes to challenge his dancers and audiences to connect on an emotional level, pulling from personal experience from within the audiences and the dancers' souls. Tom Luketich is going to compose original music and create soundscapes for this piece, Sissy, which encompasses many styles from opera, modern, spoken word, distorted sound effects, and he has also designed and coordinated costume, props, and set design to support the ideas of Sissy. So this is full production, which is definitely rare to come across in a post-COVID world, and we are so excited to see what he and the Dana Movement Ensemble do with this show. So let's get right to it. I'm very excited to see this.
we try to find it in drugs and in sex, and we get all mixed up and we get all fouled up, and before we know it, we're destroyed.
feel pretty, oh so pretty. I feel pretty and pretty and I pity any girl who isn't me today. I am pretty. I'm a woman. I'm a man. Whatever I want to be. I don't care what they say. I am worth something. Worth nothing. I am contestant number 4, Nikki Danielle.
Gender non-conforming trans feminine person. Trans feminine means that like you have like transcended the gender that was assigned to you at birth, whereas a trans woman is someone who once believes is a woman.
I'm a non-binary trans feminine BDSM diesel dyke trainee.
I'm determined not transgender because gender doesn't exist in my book. I'm not transsexual because I love the body I have. My state of being is just new.
I grew up assigned male and female. There was no way to name a pretty when I was growing up in the 50s. And the first time I learned about girls and boys was in nursery school when I was about 4 and a half. And they told us to line up, girls here, boys here. I looked at what the boys were doing, and then the girls said, oh, well, the cute one. That's me. Do you remember when you were a kid? To me, this book is 6 years old. And that's what I got into boys line. You know, I was a queer person since I was a baby, but I never had the freedom to say who I was. There was this one Halloween that I was dressed like a girl. And I wasn't allowed to, but my brother was. He was dressed as a woman because it was a joke, but you know, like, I think my mother could tell that I had a genuine desire to wear her things, and that scared her. I was in 3rd grade. I was going to a new school, and I got lice. My mom shaved my hair, and I was very muscular. These things hadn't, started happening yet. And my mom hooked me in my dress because she was concerned that no one would understand that I was a girl. I went by my middle name, which is Danielle. So everyone started calling me Tranny Danny. And I didn't know what that was at the time. I thought that was someone who's in trains. So I wore a conductor cap for the next 2 years. Whenever somebody called me Tranny Danny, I'm like, once I realized that people were calling me Tranny Danny for a reason, I had to sit down and be like, why don't I pass? What does this mean? And in 7th grade, I discovered that there was a difference between gender and sex. Gender is a state of being. Mannerisms, cultural teachings, like what type of clothing you're wearing, the way that you speak, the way that you hold yourself, the type of energy that you feel in your body. I grew up in a farming community, so it wasn't about what you had between your legs or on your chest. It was about, can you pick up that value grain? Can you get that bucket of water? Can you hug that bale of hay? Because it would be this mix of some people are Air Pastel and American Eagle, but could split firewood. I only had half the element. I couldn't hug the bale of hay. I didn't know the business. But I came out on Facebook, which was kind of like an abrasive move because suddenly everyone in Puerto Rico knew. So I didn't really experience the backlash myself, at least not physically in front of me. I came back to visit in December. It was the 25th. Parents didn't want me in my house, in their house. Success in a gender is being comfortable in a gender. It's like, oh, God, I don't have to think about it every single minute of the day. You start therapy and you end up in sex reassignment surgeries. And then I was a woman. And it was living as a woman was very like living as a man. I had to watch women and see what they were doing. I pretended to do it. I practiced my first, but there was still tomboy about me. Over the next year, 2, 3, I slid into being neither. I don't believe I'm a woman. Never believe is one. But I like looking like one. That's fun for me. I like being a cute girl. There's a comfort to passing. Once you stop passing, it's something described it as walking out of the house with $700 or $800 bills pinned to your back. You're constantly, oh God, who's going to hit me? When I'm in the masculine clothes, I have the privilege of looking like a white, young, decent-looking guy. People just feel comfortable because they know what that is. When I walk around in a dress, I try to walk as confidently. People see it as aggressive. I've had people follow me home in mud blinds. So I actually feel more empowered when I wear a dress, but I feel a lot more comfortable in an outfit like this because I don't have to worry about it. I can tell myself I'm actually here for it. In senior year, I started wearing skirts. Back then, I was just full beard, full hairy leg, pencil skirt, living, really living. I don't remember being here. And I can feel it now. I was at this bar, I'm dancing. Yeah, let's have fun with all these men, whatever. And then one of them really starts coming for me. And he's kissing me, turning my lips. And I'm enjoying it, I was just having fun, but at the same time I was in love. So I'm dancing with him, but kind of
like, because I didn't want to like grind up on him, but then I was like, hey, so I'm trans. And his eyes like opened up wide, like pulled up his fist and was like, you're trans? What the fuck? Are you fucking kidding me? We're still not part of like the traditional narrative of what like is. You would never expect to bring a trans person to your household to introduce them to your parents. And I think that's part of like the violence. Like we need to just be seen as people.
Loving people who are trans doesn't have a good argument. You're attracted to someone of the same gender, you're attracted to someone of another gender, you're attracted to either gender. Nowhere in there does it allow for being attracted to someone who's transgender, non-binary, genderqueer, a mix of the two.
For me, a pronoun is a sound. And what I'm listening to in that sound is I'm listening for respect and I'm listening for intent. So, like, if you want to address me and you're doing it respectfully and you call me like him or they, you can call me it. I don't care. As long as what you're trying to say is something that is respectful.
I'm like seeing this girl right now. She's another trans girl. And like, it's like a dream. And I feel really beautiful when she tells me, you know, I'm literally naked in bed and someone's telling me that I look good. While there's like so many systems, like people in the world that judge me for having that very body.
In my first book, I said we need to do away with gender, and I'm clarifying it now. We need to do away with enforcing gender. Someone wants to be a man, okay, you're a man. Great, be a woman, enjoy the hell out of it. Someone wants to be neither, have a ball.
Yeah. My name is Rita.
My name is Kate Wertstein.
My name is Maria. What's that?
The myth about gender that I'd like to dispel is that it's real. Yeah.
Wow.
Such a shift, but such
Wow.
so beautiful without words. Oh my goodness.
Well, we have Nick Daniels of the Dunham Movement Ensemble here, so I'd love to bring him in and talk to him more about this piece.
Hello, everyone. How are you?
Hello. Good. How are you doing tonight?
I'm awesome. Thank you very much. It's a little chilly in Pittsburgh right now, but it's fantastic.
Welcoming the cold weather down here too.
Oh, fair enough.
Mm-hmm. Please send the cold weather as soon as possible.
Really? You can have it.
Oh, we want it so bad. This was really an incredibly moving piece. Every choice, from the sound design to the costumes to the choreography, obviously, to what was spoken live, is wow. I'm really struck. Matthew David just commented speechless. So powerful. I would love to see this live. Agree. And here's hoping someday soon we can. Really done.
Thank you so much. I sincerely thank you all. This piece, just to give you a little story, I started my dance company back in 1995, and I just had it. I was at that point very conflicted with my gender, and back then we didn't have the grasp that we have now of the terms, you know. So it was a struggle, but it was a struggle. And so I did the first part with my dancer Jordan Harris. That's actually the actual choreography from 1993 when I debuted the first portion of the work. And then when I came back in 2016, I knew I had unfinished business, and I it was very shocked that artists were not taking the risks. I'm like, what, y'all aren't talking about these things? Why aren't they, like 1993? I'm bringing it out. Come with it, you know. So this piece is just very, very important because it was actually, the first part was kind of the way I came out to my parents and started to open up that discussion. Could you imagine?
That's a very creative coming out process also.
Oh yeah, that's how I do things. And the second part was just as I'm older, because I'm 52 now. I'm older, and this the second section was done in 2017, I do believe, 2016, 2017. And I just was enjoying playing with the technology because I've always incorporated film, but I am so old, I had to physically cut film and splice film. So they have a computer and they go into these different programs and play with colorization and all that fun stuff. It was really, really amazing. And I just wanted to show, you know, my growth as an artist and my growth as a person, and my comfortability with my gender non-conformity.
I love that. And I love seeing, like, with dance, I feel like sometimes being so gender binary depending on which style you're doing. I love seeing the experimentation, especially with things like African and butoh dance. It's really great just to see that, like, non-conformity through such, like, a blend of different styles too is really, really cool.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
And then, as of course, keep throwing the tip line in there too. If you want to send the tips to Nick and all of our beautiful performers tonight, if you have the number on the screen, to text Fringe to 41444.
One thing I can offer about this work is that I also performed it in Venice during the carnival last year.
Wow.
And it was amazing how well received that piece was. And I actually, you know, if I'm in Italy, I have to carry on. So the end, there was a little nudity at the end. And it's like, I'm just taking the dress off and just feeling, I'm like, Nick, you're really carrying on in Italy right now. But it was just really interesting to see that how universal the subject is, and how people I feel like with the way the world is, people need to see these things, and they need to just, if you don't understand it, at least you got to respect it, because I'm just as much of a person and human, and you know, I'm not going to take anybody's crap. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
Like just like if they said it in the piece, you can call me whatever you want, just as long as it's done with respect. And that's how I feel about most things. If you this election, you know, we're very divided right now. Respect each other. Stop the tweeting. Stop the carrying on. Stop we're just stop. We're in a pandemic. Everybody's nervous. I'm dealing with anxiety and other things. You know, just do your thing, do your art, make your voice heard and respect.
Yeah.
I'm done.
A gorgeous collection of messages too, Omar. Thank you so much for joining us and for also contributing, because this is, first time in our little portion of the Fringe Festival as well, and our little Orlando Fringe as well. So that was welcome to, this portion of the world.
Fringe festivals. I do. I think next year I'm going to gear more of my performances towards the Fringe Network and see how that works out. Just because my work I like to have my work be a little bit more intimate. So the proscenium stage, it worked and it's beautiful. But like I said, when I was at Casanardi in Italy, they were right there. So I was fearing of sweating on people. And I love that because it was just so intimate and I could really express, they could hear my breath. And that's important to me.
I love that. They could hear your breath. That is a gorgeous way of looking at that. And we do have a lot of dance shows that come to Orlando Fringe and do those intimate spaces so successfully. And I would love, this is now one of my most excited things going into when we get to back in-person theater, is to see this piece live. It's really stunning. Thank you so much for bringing it here and for speaking so beautifully about your journey with yourself and with this show. Thank you.
Thank you.
It looks like we're ready to bring everyone back for a talk back. If you would like to stay for that, Nick.
I'm going to stay for a little portion, but it's getting to be bedtime.
It is definitely put this later than originally intended. Thank you, everyone who's still watching, for sticking around with us, and thank you for sticking around, Nick, as well. And thank you, all of our other artists who have still stuck around. If you would like to come back, I think now is the time to bring everyone.
Welcome.
Yay! Oh, look at this beautiful and gorgeous group. Look at all of it. Wow.
Hi, everyone.
So, introductions all around. I think we've all seen each other and seen the work. We all know what everyone's about. Everyone is beautiful and has such individual views, which I'm really noticing now that I'm seeing all of you together as a group. We talk a lot about gender queer and gender non-binary and transgender stories, and we got into this definitely with Nick. I'd really like to hear more about all of your sort of gender stories and how you have discovered your path through gender. I'd love to get more to that if anyone would like to speak on that. Anyone want to volunteer? Anyone want to share with the class? Yes, Salvation. Thank you.
I have no fear in starting. No, like I mentioned earlier, I started my background history started with drag, and I really think that helped me understand that, I look like this, but what I feel like inside is two completely different things. So, I mean, that kind of helped me. I guess my history with it is, I don't know. I've always been just a queer, out there kind of person. I as a child, I remember, I always wanted to put dresses on. When my mom would leave, I would sneak away and, put her clothes on. That's what I felt comfortable doing. And as I grew up, that's how I felt comfortable. And I quickly learned that was not okay in society. And I hid it for a long time. And through doing this and putting on makeup and doing all of that foolishness, I discovered, that's how I felt comfortable. Sitting in my house like this is how I feel comfortable.
And you should be comfortable because it's gorgeous inside and out. Yes, ma'am, sir, they, them, person. Yes, everything. So, you go ahead, Kelly. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I have so much of it exactly in a story, but I definitely had, I grew up in the 70s in rural Wisconsin, which was not exactly like a queer haven. And also had some experiences, I remember not wanting to wear the top to my swimsuit. I wanted to wear just the bottom when I was 5 or 6 years old, because it seemed more masculine. And they gave me a hard time at the public pool. And my mom, who was a Midwestern housewife, basically, went there and said, "Can't you see she's not a normal girl?" Which I think is, that's definitely not the language we use now, but I think that's pretty amazing for 1970s rural Wisconsin parenting, and I feel really grateful also, like, as I've gotten older, I've had more opportunities. Like, there's been so much room created for kind of being like presenting more masculinely even in my work life. I'm just like but just even recently I've been thinking about how grateful I am for that. My first professional job, I remember my boss kept trying to tell me, kept trying to give me this wardrobe feedback about Macy's, about cargo pants, oh, it's too many pockets. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it turned out it was being too masculine. I remember I just went in and dropped the Lane Bryant catalog on her desk, and I was like, "Please circle what you want me to wear, what you think would be appropriate," And now I work in a school where one of the kids defaulted to they, them with me, the high school. So I just feel, the world is a pile of shit and really terrible, and especially for folks who at the intersections. But I do feel very grateful for the movement that has been made in this particular way. I feel really grateful for it.
Yeah, these stories are beautiful. Before, if anyone else wants to share on this, please do. Also, just really quickly, want to point out, as Lindsay Taylor said, if anybody watching has any questions or comments or congratulations for any of the artists, now is the time to send out. We've had some really beautiful pieces, as I've said over and over again, and I'm sure all these artists would love to hear what you have to say and answer some questions. But yeah, if anyone else wants to speak to their gender journey or so, I think that's something that is really important to talk about and hear some really beautiful things about. Whatever you might want to say. Or we can move on to anything else. If anybody maybe has questions for the other, or Alex, do you have anything you want to bring up?
I think just that the pieces all were so, I think one of the cool things was that all the pieces we had were so different, but there's this clear strain that we've got between all of us here, but especially all of the actual artwork itself, where it's all of our own expressions of how we're going about this, whether it be dance or comedy or trivia or, music, additional stand-up, lots of really fun stuff. But kind of it's kind of going off the question that Clark asked, but kind of how do you guys think you've, kind of come to use your art forms to express this queerness and this gender identity and this kind of space that we're all inhabiting for ourselves? Unless that was two.
I will go. I guess I'll start every time.
Yeah, Salvation.
No, like I said earlier with my piece, it's dumb, it's stupid, but I've sat on stage for about 30 minutes and made a fool of myself, and it opens up people coming up to me and asking me questions, and then I can talk about this show and what it means to me, and talk about myself and my gender and the gender and whatever we want to talk about. We can talk about lots of things, but it combats the otherness that a lot of non-binary, gender non-conforming, and trans people see every day. I mean, we're made to feel like we are others when in the world, I mean, we all know about intersectionality. We all know that everyone is different, right? And that's what makes us all the same. So we're not others. We are just like you. And it also combats kind of what we see in the media about trans and gender non-conforming people. I mean, I hate to say it, but we often see the negative. That's all we see. And that's all people think about us is negative. And we're not. I mean, again, with mine, we all just want a Mountain Dew just like everyone else. I mean, Kelly has one.
Yeah.
Yes.
I saw that.
I have, Mountain Dew Zero, because I'm in Western New York where I can get it. Yeah.
I'm a Mountain Dew Zero kind of gal.
For me, it was really imperative with Sissy, especially being that I did receive support from Hans Foundation and Pittsburgh Foundation and Kelly Strayhorn Theater, that I just wanted to present this message that like I said, people are just now starting to come around to. Some people have very, very aggressive feelings about, and I just wanted to produce and present it in a very non-threatening, beautiful, calming way. And as I'm getting older, I present myself as calmer. I used to, like, you saw the beginning of that piece, how I'm thrashed out. I had Jordan thrashing about the stage, and back in the day, I was the one thrashing. I'm not thrashing like that at 52 years old, but it's just I just feel that as we go on and as we get older, you just realize that you have to be comfortable with you and not really. It's like I really just don't care anymore. It's like I am me, and take it or leave it. You know, that's it. It's like I do what I do, and when I do it, and you can come on to the ride, or jump off and fall down the hill.
Love.
Well, I think behind the scenes too, Brian also had a question. Whenever you want to go ahead and give that to our artists.
Yes. So this is from Alexander Mazurek, local actor and incredible. What is the one thing you feel is needed right now to help bring forward more trans and non-binary art? Anyone want to feel that?
I would say more programming like this. More theaters, galleries, studios, bringing drag shows from clubs to theaters or to other, different experimental spaces, where you could bring different kinds of people together and showcase their art.
Yeah, you just can't be afraid to present your work. Sometimes you have to actually produce your work. It sucks, it's expensive, but sometimes in order for the work to be seen, it has to be somewhere. And you can't be afraid. You just, like, I did part of this piece in downtown Pittsburgh at the Three Rivers Arts Festival. You just gotta do it and just take the risk. So I feel like as us as queer artists, we just have to don't be afraid. Take the risk, and don't by no means like water it down. It's like if you're coming out, the work that I saw this evening, I watched the entire show. I really loved it because everybody just was 100% themselves, and it was not watered down, stereotypical melodramatic bullcrap. It was real, honest work, and as an artist, that's my thing. Is I want to be honest and integral in everything that I do.
Let's give it up for Alex and Tie-Dye Clark.
Oh, thank you, MP Vira. Yeah.
Hey. Thank you.
If anyone else has questions that they would like to ask, anyone watching, or if anyone else here has anything that they would like to say or anything they'd like to ask, now is the time. Yeah. I do really like this thread that I'm seeing, and this is a question that I tend to ask myself. I feel like this is coming up right now as everyone is talking when it comes to marginalized groups bringing art to the world, is looking for acceptance in the institutions that exist versus creating our own institutions. And that's something that I tend to think about a lot, especially in the last few months, of where do artists of marginalized groups go? And so as we sort of wrap up, I know that's a big thought, but I'm wondering if anyone has any thoughts on that.
I think about this all the time. I mean, I'm sure we all do, but I think about this all the time. I started this queer storytelling group in New York City in 2010, and the specific reason was there were starting to be more queer stories in mainstream media, but none of them were told by us. And if you don't tell your own story, somebody else is going to tell it, water it down, make it unrecognizable, and sell it back to you. So I feel like really the commitment from a community of allies to actually let queer and trans people tell our own stories. I think that's what's going to make all the difference in the world. I was thinking of Sam Feder made a movie. What's Sam's movie called? It's all about trans. He made it with Laverne. Anyway, I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, it's all about. Yes, thank you. It's all about it's. I mean, it's such a nuanced movie. It kind of seems unbelievable it got made. I mean, Sam's a nuanced guy, but it's so nuanced.
If you want to on Netflix, please watch it.
Yeah. And like that's amazing. I don't think that would have gotten made. I mean, if Laverne wasn't involved, it probably wouldn't have gotten made in terms of money, but that wouldn't have been made 10 years ago, not by us. It would have been made in a sensational way by, I don't know, with, I don't know. I'm going to get too sarcastic about it. But anyway, not made by us.
And I think that comes down to hiring artists, but also hiring people like on the business side of things that are in the community, so that like the people who are choosing artists also are from the community. I think that it also comes to artists coming up with pieces that are about our story, featuring characters that are us, that specifically say in the script, this person is a trans man or trans woman or a non-binary person, and also being open to the idea of characters that in the casting process that aren't necessarily specifically those people being played by those people. So I think that there are a lot of things to keep in mind in the process that all work together to work towards that ultimate goal.
Yeah, I just want to just throw in this. I mean, being visible is like, I think is what everyone's saying. We have to be visible as people. I wish there was someone that looked like me when I was a kid. I wish I would have saved myself a lot of time. But I think it goes beyond visibility. It's the places that are hiring artists, the places that are booking shows, the places that are putting on events like this. We need you to lose your bias, because we know as LGBTQ people, we are denied so many things in our life. I mean, when it comes to healthcare, housing, mental health, resources, period. We lack those things. And I think we're in a place where we are people who are wanting our voice heard, and it's up to the other people who are in charge of making sure our voice can be heard to book us and get rid of their bias and put us, mainstream us like everyone else.
Period. And as Matt Desire just did, I'll drink to that. Drink to that. Well, it looks like we might be coming to the end of this. This has been really beautiful. Thank you, everyone. Last call for any questions or comments from anyone watching. Last call for anyone here that wants to finish up with any thoughts. It looks like we've come to the end of it.
Go love.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you all for supporting my work and for putting this together. This is definitely a springboard for more to come.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate it. And call me anytime. I have a website, danamovement.com. And I'm also on Facebook as well, and as Nikki Danielle.
If we want to actually also have all of the artists just go around and kind of give your final goodbyes, and also if you guys want to plug give whatever plugs, websites, social media, where we can find you guys so we can keep supporting and also find more of some of the work that you guys showed us tonight. Anybody wants to start us off?
I went first. I'll start. So thank you all again for having me. Again, my name is Jeremiah, but you can call me Maya. I am on all social media as at Maya Darling. That's Maya DAH Ling. The gay way you'd say it. Good night.
Maya knows her brand. Love to see that.
I'll go next. So Kelly Dunham, thank you all so much for doing this. This was really lovely. I really enjoyed it. And it felt like a real show in a way. It felt like, a live show. So I'm so grateful for that. My insurance company sent me this letter that was basically, hey, you really seem to be using a lot of mental health care. Like, is there anything we should know? And I was like, if y'all would just open up the stand-up clubs in some safe way, we would both be happier. I would not need all this therapy. Thank you very much. But so I guess I got 10 subscribers to my YouTube channel while we were performing. So I really appreciate that. So there'll be more thumbs up on the queer stuff instead of thumbs down and really gross descriptions of gross descriptions. So thank you. So that's just Kelly Dunham, very easy. Kelly with an I, like a cheerleader. And also I've been doing virtual stuff. I started performing in alt space, which is the VR place 10 years ago. So I started doing virtual performance 3 years ago before we were all doing it. And so I have there's things I really enjoy about it, and I feel like I have good skills. So I'm also a nurse, and so I do workshops of the overlap, medical self-advocacy workshops and stuff for queers, and I always love to do that. You open up a browser, I will do get a couple people there, I will do a workshop for you. So yeah, that's it.
Pivira, you went third. Is there anything else that you would like to plug?
Well, you can check me out on all social medias at the Fringy Mime Queen. Thank you so much for your time, guys. Stay safe and stay calm.
And then Salvation, we talked about your plugs and anything else or any last things?
Thank you so much for having this. Thank you so much for giving this space to queer artists with their art out there. As we can see in the world, change is coming, change is in the air, and we're doing great things. And I know it feels scary right now, but I think I have this feeling inside that great changes are coming. You can find anything you want out about me at www.salvationmercy.com. It's spelled phonetically. If you don't know how to spell, I'm sorry. I just thank you, and good night.
Good night, Salvation. And Nick Daniels, you have your website, which Lindsay has so kindly put in the comments below. But is there anything else that you would like to plug?
I just want, like I said, I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us tonight. This was a beautiful show. Next week, I am hosting the Reparation Show for Crane Theater, so y'all can check that out. But this has been wonderful. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Wow.
An amazing lineup.
This is it. This is it.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Everything tonight just gorgeous, and yeah, the variety, the drama, the comedy, the beauty, the art, beautiful. I think it's something we all needed after a very long week. And I think this was a nice way for us to wrap it up and then also go into what is going to be a really great couple of weeks locally, but also nationally for the trans community to kind of come together and have our time of remembrance as well.
Mm-hmm. We do have some last announcements of some exciting things coming up on a Fringe and local Orlando theater thing. So really quickly, we're going to go through those announcements.
I'm going to start off with the announcement of the Orlando Fringe Lottery, long awaited, always every year. So the festival this year is going to occur between May 18th to the 31st of 2021, and applications have been extended until December 31st, so you've got a little bit more time. We also have an Amplified Voices Lottery, which occurs before the regular lottery. So we're going to be pulling 30% of total applicants into the festival with this lottery. To qualify, the project must be produced and created by individuals who are among an underserved community and whose shows deal with relevant topics. These can be included among the dimensions of race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, socioeconomic status, age, visible and invisible abilities, to be able to get some really great representation going in our lovely, wonderful festival every year. And you guys can find the link to that on the screen currently down below.
Sorry, I was trying to present it, but I like Vanna White, but I didn't do it correctly. So excited for the Amplified Voices Lottery. Fringe has put so much work into it, and they've made the committees to make these new initiatives so open, which has been fantastic. We do have an announcement for an upcoming show that we're all very excited for. Nightwear on Elm Street, presented by Opera del Sol and Orlando Fringe. Opera del Sol is an incredible local opera company. They do consistently fantastic work. They've won some Fringe Awards, A+. And so on Friday, November 13th at 9 p.m. is a one-of-a-kind digital performance, Nightwear on Elm Street. Opera del Sol, in partnership with Orlando Fringe, will present an original opera burlesque cabaret inspired by our favorite villains paired with our favorite voices. It is sure to be a thrilling evening filled with both glamour and gore. $10, and you can go to the Facebook page or through Opera del Sol. So you can go through Orlando Fringe's Facebook page, or you can go to Opera del Sol's Facebook page, or their tickets at the website, again, below.
Another thing you guys can buy tickets for that are on sale right now is A Fringe Miss Carol, a live socially distanced Dickens-inspired theatrical journey, which, again, with our lovely COVID time performances, is another great opportunity. So this can be taking place from December 11th through the 13th. The story will be told through stationary scenes that audiences will travel to in small groups throughout the park in 60-minute immersive tours. And for more information and tickets for that, you can also find that at orlandofringe.org, as you guys can see on your screen.
For anyone that misses live theater, this is really going to be incredible. And if you're hesitant about the idea of walking through an immersive show, I can guarantee that it works so well. Like recently, if anyone, The Haunted Road, which was just here to celebrate Halloween in Orlando, was similar, and like you had to drive through an immersive experience following a story scene by scene. And it was so seamless and worked so beautifully for what they want to do. And I'm sure Fringe will do it at that equal level, if not better. So if you have any reservations about this new kind of theatrical immersive tour journey, I promise it's going to be fantastic. We have two more little Fringe announcements. Winter Mini Fest, which is, this is the, I'm going to get this wrong. I want to say it's the 4th year. It might be the 3rd year. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, the Winter Mini Fest will occur January 7th through 10th, 2021. Virtual, site-specific, and movies on the mini lawn. So it's going to be a whole mix of in-person and virtual things, something for everyone. Shows are going to be announced soon, and tickets will be on sale at the end of this month. And then also, our next First Fringe Friday is going to be in December. Theme is 2020, all bets are off. We have a Fringe Miss Carol to celebrate Christmas, and we have First Fringe Friday to just celebrate the year as a whole. So 2020, all bets are off is going to be anything. Very Fringe to just be anything.
Anything.
Applications will be open on Monday and will close on Tuesday, November 24th. So you have a long time to apply, but not as much as you think. So get to it soon. They're going to be closing on Tuesday, November 24th at 10:30 a.m. And that's our show.
Thank you all so much for joining us and for hanging out with us. And if you are, even not joining us live, we're so glad you sat and we're able to see all these wonderful artists. And we hope to see you again at all of our, next Fringe Fridays and at some of the really great stuff that's coming up locally around town.
Really, thank you for sticking through all 3 hours if you have, or for coming for any portion of this. And if you're watching this pre-recorded, especially, thank you for sitting through 3 hours. Oh my God. But totally worth it, because we've had some incredible stuff tonight. And we'll see you in a month with our next First Fringe Friday. So good night, everybody.
Good night.
Stay safe and sane. Bye.